Okay, Andrew H. Uh, Marshawn. Can you talk to Jamie and Griff about why, when some people die, they don't cross over immediately? They hang around us, ghosts. Curious about specifics because some good people in life don't always cross over and seem lost or confused. Why don't their guides get them? How much of a role does free will have in crossing over? I'm asking because they wake me up from time to time, trying to get my attention, and I'm just trying to learn more. Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Right?
Griffin, your mom are both kind of talking. Free will plays 100%, Griffin says. Even after death, you're 100%. So if you cross over, you still have option. You're not automatically put into a specific route or path. Like when you die, the light comes, you walk through the light, this is what you see. No. Everybody has opinion, choice, and experience. And so some of the lovingest people, let's say your mom is giving an example, and your mom says that you've been married for 50 years and you pass away, but you don't want to cross over because you don't want to go without her or him. And so you stay and you wait. And then when that person crosses over, let's say they have it in their mind, this whole time they've been seeing and interacting with you, they thought you were at home in heaven. So they were like, can't wait to die. I'm crossing over immediately to find them. So the lover dies, crosses over immediately, skips over this middleman space where the other one's been waiting, afraid to cross over because it might, leave too much of a space between them. And now they're in different spaces again. They can certainly find each other and one can cross the other one over, but it's all free will and choice. The guides don't interfere with free will. If you are asking for help, whether you are a ghost or in your physical body, they'll show up and they'll help you. So it's not about leaving you stranded, but it's definitely not about telling you what to do. You're talking about that you're getting nudged and woke up, and Griffin thinks it's pretty funny and says that, pretty soon you're going to be running off of like 3 hours sleep because the rest of the night is talking to people like who are, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that's the right word. On like the trail of homage that cuts through his bedroom because they know that he can see him. So they're like, there's the dude, the person who can see us. Hey, wake up. How you doing? Can you help? Can you do whatever? So you're going to have a bright light on that says, I see you. Come get me. And Griffin says, man, it's time to set some very hard boundaries and not mess with that. And tell them, here are my hours of business. If you want to come talk to me then, I'll give you my time. But he says it's not helping anybody by them waking you up at night. You do have an active house ghost.
Is it friendly, Griff? Because I know he'll come back with that question.
Not mean, but I think if it was friendly, he wouldn't be waking him up at night. So it's kind of a selfish house ghost.
Right.
I'll just say it like that. Not looking to harm anyone or anything, but definitely unaware of boundaries.
Right. Griffin, what makes a person afraid to cross over? Just the unknown? Or like my mom was saying, just because there's so much here that you still love, you're afraid. So it kind of correlates with both of it. Like you don't know.
It's unknown, yeah, and afraid of losing it.
Yeah, and if you're not trusting, you won't realize that. Seems to me, if I'm out of line, tell me, but if you cross over, you really have more access to everything than not crossing over. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're right. When you cross over, you have more access to the people on Earth.
Yeah.
But Griffin's laughing. He goes, that's like a campfire tale when you're a ghost.
Right. Totally.
Everybody's trying to get you to go to a certain space. And now you don't know what to trust. And now you don't know what's real. So It's a bit like a myth. oh, go into the light and you'll still live, and he said it's like dying all over again.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Because I felt like, well, my mom, I feel like she crossed over right away, and I feel like Griffin did not.
Griffin did not.
Yeah, Griffin, it's so Griffin not to. And I understand, but it kind of is a theme throughout his living life too on Earth. He just had to have the answers before he jumped, like, I don't know. And he didn't want to leave us, and he was young, and his death was different than my mom's,
It's very different.
Yeah.
I would take it back, my approach, he says, and how I handled myself after. Because now I don't have any questions, did I do the right thing and when? I did everything I needed to do.
Right.
And he goes, people need to know that when you die, you are still governing your own choices. Like, it's still you saying, yes, no, not going to do it, not going to follow through, yes, I am. And you get advice and guidance from all kinds of sources and energies. And some of them feel great, some of them don't. You just have to decide, just like on Earth, which way you're going to go.
Right. Unless you guys want to add anything to that question, Griffin, is there more, Mom and everyone, are there more people in your dimension than in our dimension?
So,
are there more dead people than alive people on Earth? Population.
Like, if we took a snapshot right now, like if time stood still, if all time was at one point, there's more in the dead world than the alive world.
Right, right.
And then this world versus spirit world, more spirits.
Are there a lot of people that stay on Earth, Griff, and never cross over? Or a good amount? A lot is vague, but...
Yeah, good amount is vague too, but he liked that one more than a lot. If we're comparing it to living people, there are less ghosts on Earth than there are living bodies. There are more spirits crossed over than human bodies, but there are more echo hauntings on Earth than there are people.
Explain that a little bit. What does that mean?
An echo haunting doesn't have a ghost attached to the experience. It is like a energy cycle. If war happened on that land, the war energy keeps playing out. Even if the spirits became ghosts or spirits became crossed over, the echo haunting, it's like an after effect, how the sound bounces. Because that energy was so intense, be it for joy or for trauma, it echoes. And humans that come into it, an echo can feed off of a human's intention. Like, do you feel that? Do you feel that? That something's here. And it echoes stronger and longer. If it's ignored and left throughout time, it will cease to exist. Yeah.
Is it like a wake that a boat leaves? The wake that a boat leaves, the river?
Yes. I just want to look up echo hunting. It's not something I use. I guess there's a book called that, but
oh wow,
I don't think it's a book on what it is.
Yeah. I totally believe that you're affected by that because does this relate, Griffin? Like, I had to stop watching the news right now for a little while because since that Vegas shooting, that guy, I was already tanking because this is your death month and whatever the reason is, I was really struggling. And I feel like you pick up that energy. Like, just, I don't want that energy around me.
It's like an echo haunting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard things like that be put into an order of abundance. You know, what is there more of? But I guess what I call an echo haunting are like dust bunnies.
Yes.
Or I call them vortexes.
Right, right. Because I didn't mind talking with you guys about what happened in Vegas and getting the answers because I was morbidly curious, like humans are. But I didn't want to talk to that that dude or whatever, because I knew I don't have the energy right now to protect myself from that. Yeah, he killed himself. But I didn't have the energy to protect myself from talking directly to him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm so happy you know your boundaries on that.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. But I was morbidly curious, and I felt like my wanting to know was really me wanting to heal from it, kind of, and help people heal from it. Like, what the hell just happened, you know?
That was him crossing the line of sanity to insanity.
Yeah.
And wanting his life, once he figured it out, his life had no meaning.
Right.
No meaning, because he kind of lost it.
Right.
Then he wanted other people. So that means other people have no meaning too. This isn't real.
Right.
So it'd be fine if I destroyed it because it's not real.
Absolutely.
So it was really him losing his mind. It wasn't anything else around it.
Oh, Jamie, you are so spot on. You were so spot on. You're always so spot on. I did watch an interview with him.
What do you mean with him? I thought he's dead.
So I watched someone else talk to him through a medium. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So anyways, I watched, and everything you and Griffin and my mom and everyone shared with me is exactly what happened. He lost his mind. It was to bring attention to mental illness, and they asked him, oh my God, they asked him, how did he feel when he was shooting the people? You said it made him feel alive. He said, and I have the chills, he felt euphoric when he was doing that. You were spot on with everything you shared with me. I know. And he's in isolation right now. And like Griff said, like nobody's really around him.
He's healing.
Yeah. And people always, get back to that question of, since there's no heaven or hell, like separation, does it bother you, Griff, to be around that energy? Is that hard for you to be around that energy? They want to know, does he vibrate on the same dimension you're on? Like, will you run into him? And you know what I mean?
He says, Mom, even if I were to run into him, he wouldn't be the same person he was on Earth.
Right. So it's
if
like
he's
an
claiming,
unanswerable question.
Yeah. If he's claiming to be the same person he is on Earth, he wouldn't be resonating where we are. He'll stay in the, you call it dark space, healing space. Same? Yeah. He will stay where he is until his vibrations shift enough to where he can exist in a different dimensional plane.
That makes perfect sense. In other words, he has to become enlightened to go into the light.
Yeah. And he's going to go into the light.
Right. One would hope. Yeah. But you were spot on, and I wanted to tell you that, Jamie, which I know you have no doubt, but just give you
I still haven't seen it or watched anything on news. I just...
Oh, don't.
Once you mentioned it
You already knew everything. You covered it. You don't need to hear it. It's too upsetting for us. Yeah. Okay, so did Peggy show up? Did she get her buns in there?
She did.
Okay, good. Okay, Vic wants to know, Peggy, hi love, how dare you miss a meeting? The one time we have a question for you.
She's cracking up.
This meeting is on this day, Peggy. You show up. You hear me? Okay.
She's clapping her hands.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay. Your daughter misses you so, as you know. So, your daughters. But Vic has a question. She's mad and she's not going to take it anymore. So they cleaned out your house, it sounds like, this weekend. And she's upset because, as men will do, as my mom could chime in because I witnessed this as a child, the boys and the gentleman started throwing stuff away without really looking through it. So Vic is like, wants to know, is there anything she needs to go look for? Did they throw anything away that Vic needs or should go look for? She's beside herself angry. But I watched my dad do this to my mom. So I get it. You're just kind of you're in a hurry. You want to go watch the football game. So let's get this unpacking done.
They threw out some of her clothes and stuff too.
Yes. And she wanted to know, there was a picture that her mom had of a lady and 3 daughters that her mom loved. And it was special to Vic because it was like her mom and her 3 daughters. And it was just a special picture. You know, we get attached to things. And then there was also, I think there might have even been some, there was a purse with money that she wanted me to give my niece, and I can't find it. Can you ask her if she knows where it is? Did they throw it away? Oh, Lordy May. Peggy, are you mad?
She says, I can't be mad at him. I love him so much.
They're men. It wasn't personal. I know it. I watched my dad do it to my mom, and she cried and cried.
There's a few other things that have gotten thrown out. You know, every now and then when something was really special or she was keeping it away, she would misplace it on purpose to avoid thieves. You know, so she didn't put all her jewelry in a jewelry box. She would stash it here and there.
Right.
Like a smart person.
I can relate.
So there's some jewelry, some money, and there's a little bit of paperwork. But she's telling Vic there's no way that she can get back into the pile to find it. You know, it's just time to breathe and ask for forgiveness. You know, ask the guys to come and say, we're sorry, we didn't know. And move on from there.
So Vic just has to let go, Peggy?
Yes. There's, is she gonna live, who's living in the house now?
I think they're giving it back. I don't know if it was rented, but they're moving out of it.
She's talking about seeing the people who are going to live in the house.
Yes.
I guess they're going to get to know Peggy quite well because she's going to be there with them. Yeah.
Peggy,
that's going to be entertaining.
Why are you going to stay there, Peggy?
Oh, she goes everywhere. That's her place.
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm sorry, Vic. There's nothing else that I've asked several different ways how to get that back.
Yeah. It sounds like it'd be going to the local, dump yard, and that'd be impossible, Jamie.
That's what I was saying, too, that it was like the garbage, big place
gone.
garbage.
Yeah, it's probably long gone. Why did they do that, Peggy? Just men in a hurry to get it done?
Didn't want to make it last any longer for suffering and grief sake. Out the door. Scooch it out.
So the intentions weren't bad, but it ended up hurting Vic. Aw.
Yes.
I feel you.
And a few others.
Yes, I'm sure. She has 3 girls, so. How are you doing, Peggy?
She says, I'm doing wonderful.
Love hearing that.
I was asking her, were you at the house when this was all happening? She says, absolutely. She said, I saw everything. She said, I tried, but she says, I don't need to be worried about that. I'm okay. I don't need the money, and I don't need the things, and I don't need the memories. She goes, I was just more concerned for those who wanted it. But all in all, she's fine. She has no grudge, loves everybody.
Good, good. Well, I love you and thanks for coming, even though it was late. We took note.
There's something about having a nice cold beer. I don't know who this is with.
Maybe Vic did it? Had a beer? She needs to have a beer?
Very cold in a nice glass.
And relax.
Yes. I can't see Peggy drinking beer.
Her daughter's so beautiful. Such a
Aw.
sweetie. Such a great mom. And yeah, you did good, Peggy. You did good. She's
She
a
said
hard
thank you.
worker, everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that's it, guys. I sure love you, and that went fast. Makes me sad.
Griffin said it's awesome. He says, I don't want to give up talking to everybody and give up Griff's gifts when we have a good thing going on.
Right?
He says, thank you, Mom, just for helping, for being here, for waking up today.